Okay, welcome. This is Mark, and also known as Spirit Child 1723. I'm going to do the air signs. Yeah. No? Water signs. All right. We are doing the water signs for the month of July. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. All right. Hope everyone's doing good. We've had months and months of rain and on and off, on and off. Devil card out there. Eight of Pentacles. Five of Wands. The Tower. Oh, wow. Water signs. What's going on? Seven of Cups. Wow. Knight of Cups. All right, guys. All right. The first one is the Page of Pentacles. That's a grounded energy. Somebody pretty practical. They could be coming to give you a message, communicate in some way. They're not going to be super pushy or anything. It doesn't necessarily mean in love. This could just be a friend. It could be a relative. Somebody. They're trying to tell you something. And I don't think it's about their feelings. This is more about the 3D. You know, pentacle. You know, house, clothing. The stuff we need to exist here in the 3D world. So let's go a little further because next card out is Seven of Pentacles, so a vision. All right, so that's a decent amount of pentacles. It's something that means you've been working on something. It needs some fine tuning. Sometimes I hear some other person always say, kind of double down on what's working and let go of the other things you're doing that are just taking your time and energy, but not producing. So this is about, like, for me, fine tuning a choice. You're manifesting, you're going forward. You have some success because it's Seven of Pentacles. But at this point, you need to make an adjustment or like fine tune a choice you already made. And then the Devil card comes out, Angel of Freedom. All right, so for some of you, are you tied to something? You're bound by something. This could be in the work world. This could be in the love world. It could be family. Um, not getting that it's a habit on this. I think it's more bound to either work or a person. So, you're the only one who can free yourself. It's still illusion. Doesn't matter how strong it is. You know what I mean? It's still illusion. Um, because you don't have to be tied or dependent on anyone. It's a good idea to be, tied to your, spiritual team, your angels, you know what I mean, or God or universe. That type of bond would be preferable. And then the Eight of Pentacles come out, dedication. So that's moving along. You're at the Seven Pentacles. You went up one. So finance is okay. But there's just something else with a person or a business. For some of you, it could be you're really done with the work you're doing. You know what I mean? That's the bondage of, repeating it. You might be at the top of your money, or you might have like a decent job with benefits, but you do something on the side that gives you extra money to play around and take little vacations and trips without affecting the household budget. And it doesn't seem like finances is the problem here at all with water. We got the Five of Wands. So again, this is other people's desires and passion, lack of ambition, like kind of go after you, go after your foundation, try to throw monkey wrench in the spokes. They're in opposition. They want you to give up because you're starting to succeed. They just want to be in conflict. Those people that want to argue all the time or point out why something ain't going to work out, never have three ideas about how it could manifest or how it could happen or how you could put work to achieve it. And then we have a Tower. So again, yeah, it's coming. Sometimes you can't avoid it. And, if your spirit team does it for you, sometimes It's very sudden. Again, I see it as having to rebuild your foundation with, friends, families, maybe dependent lovers. I don't, something like that. Could be a combination of both, It might be some unhealthy stuff at work with people at work. It might be a combination of both, You got some ties and that bind you at work that are gonna keep you away from doing what's already brought you to the Eight of Pentacles. They're gonna pull you down, or they're gonna leech off you. Become dependent on you for money. Then we have the Seven of Cups. So again, a 7 card choices. It says right on this choices. You know, I know that's not what a lot of typical people would see as a 7 card. I always see it as refining a choice, making another choice, polishing up a choice. Seeing what choices you have. Um, you know, this is pretty good emotional stability. The 7 of Cups. There's still more to work at, but um, again, you kind of create your own destiny. Not kind of, you do. You know, by the words, the vibration, all of that. You kind of control your atmosphere, your attitude. And sometimes it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to stay in a positive attitude. You go out in that real world and people are negative, and there's a lot of stuff happening around here that just, to me, like a little bit like horseshit, but that's what's out there, that's energy out there. People are geared up in fear. So the Knight of Cups comes out, spirituality. This person's preparing their cup, you know. They're gonna tell someone, you know, that they're, or it could be you getting ready to tell someone that, yeah, this is still in your energy. Um, this is in your energy. You're getting ready to present yourself to someone. But in order to do so, you might have to clear some stuff out of your life, which Spirit's already doing for you. All right, water signs, July. I don't know. That was very different than the air signs I did before you. Woo! All right, water signs. What are you doing? What is going on in the camp here? Let's get a few cards from Archangel Michael. I'll take this top row out for you. Stay the course. No, it's not time yet. Embrace your life's purpose. And this is a blessing in disguise. So, all right, water signs. All right, stay the course, Archangel Michael. Don't panic. You're not on the wrong path. You're just having a bumpy start. Learn from your experience and keep going. So, this is a card of encouragement to keep pursuing what you want. You know, you got to skin your knees. You got to learn some rough lessons. I'm doing this. I don't have a fancy camera. I don't, I do have some outside lighting, it helps sometimes. But I don't have a lot of money into this. If I saw it go in a direction where, it made a difference and I wanted to produce a better video and start editing, I'll do that. I like the fact that it's not edited. So you get it just how it comes out. I hate watching, especially a tarot reading where it flashes. Person says 2 things, it flashes. Person talks for a minute, it flashes. Like, what are they cutting out? That's what my mind goes like. What are they cutting out? What did they stop? What did they say that they had to stop that they didn't want you to hear? Next card out. No, it's not time yet. This is not divine right time to take action. Please be patient. The opportune moment is approaching. So a little bit for career, but I'm getting a lot more, 80% of it for people, relationships, saying it's not divine time yet. Embrace your life purpose. The angels are saying, or Archangel Michael in this deck, guiding you towards your divine life purpose. Whatever makes your heart joyful is what you're meant to be doing. So again, have fun, do stuff that you really like to do, and if it can, convert, adapt, translate into money and a career, that's awesome. That's awesome. I've been playing more and more guitar, for myself. Just it's good for me. It's one way I release emotions, through music, So, this is a blessing in disguise. Got all kinds of chakras out here, huh? You got your heart, you got your throat chakra, your solar plexus, you got your base chakra. I'm not sure about the other one down below. You got your crown chakra. All right, be patient and have faith. Your angels have situations under control. What is to come is far better than you dared to dream. So again, timing, and I know this is the water sign reading, but I was doing the air reading. They the cards were showing that their career and their abundance with the pentacles is coming before love. That's how it is sometimes. This is saying, um, you know, it's already said, right? I already said two cards back. It's not the right time. Um, and then it says this is a blessing in disguise. Be patient. It's going to unfold, but you got to hold on to your values. You got to stand up for what you want, stand up for yourself and your beliefs. When you do that, the universe and you put a firm, request for something from the universe, they're going to provide it as long as you're not waving back and forth. And I know you guys know what I mean. Like, oh, I want to be with this person. This person comes in my life, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Well, that's what you asked for. You know what I mean? We've fulfilled the order with all the ingredients that you were kind of talking about, and we present someone to you, and now you're running away because you're scared or you haven't worked on something or whatever it may be. And I'm talking about myself, but I know others, I know it goes on all the time. When you're ready for something and you're confident and you know what you want and you ask for it, it's gonna come. If your energy's clean, and you're not dragging around past stuff, it's gonna come. You're gonna bring it into your life. So, all right, let's pull out a love row and see where this is going for the water signs. Month of July, please and thank you. Month of July, please and thank you. All right, let's just see what we got. Oh, this is your person. All right, so the person that's probably still in your energy and trying to make things work, which is not the right person for you, I can tell you that. The way I have treated you was wrong. So it might have been someone who did something, then pulled back, and then really is passively waiting for you to say, it's okay to come back. I can't stop thinking about you. They're obsessed about you. They're in your energy, spying on you, watching what you do, whether it's through friends or social media, etc., etc. The passion I felt, it was enormous. I didn't know what to do. So they're saying they were overwhelmed by their feelings, pulled away, ran away, might have blocked you off, cut you off, you know, doubled down on blocking you off, making sure there's no communication. But they're really into you, make that make sense. I can't promise you anything. So, the person that showed up in your energy, somebody needs healing work, can't promise you anything. They're still figuring out themselves. It ain't wrong. They probably do care about you, and they probably, you know, realize that, it was a fear-based habit that they might have displayed after you guys got close, But anyways, I see in what I see is all this stuff needs to go out the window. Um, Let's take two more cards. We'll take two out of this deck here. It's close and it's already been shuffled. All right, this card's flopping all around. There you go. There you go. You guys think I'm making it up sometimes, huh? Past trauma. You need to take time for yourself and heal your past trauma before moving on. This could be both of you, but your other person's carrying a lot of it. I mean, a lot. Stay focused on you. Stay in your life. This is just reaffirming that, we all have healing work, and that doesn't mean that you can't be in a relationship. But when you're unaware of it and you're hurting people and you're triggered and taking off on them and stuff, I know I don't want that drama. I'm 59, man. I don't shit. I'll put a certain amount of energy into not chasing, but expressing, what I might want from somebody, and then I leave it. If they don't do anything with it, or they don't acknowledge it, or they don't value that I'm important, I let it be. But again, this bottom row came out, and person that still in your energy, but you're probably not talking to or whatever. Maybe the last time you guys were together was 2 months ago, is what I'm sensing. Could be 2 weeks. I'm not sure. But anyways, this is saying to get quiet with yourself, and it's all right, man. It's all right to do self-care and take care of yourself and find yourself, and I'm learning stuff in my 50s about myself that I could never acknowledge in my 30s, you know? So anyways, I'm going to take one more to close the reading. This is from John Holland's deck, Spirit Guidance, something like that. Anyways, I mess up the names. I know what it looks like, and I know what the message is. I'm familiar with the messages. All right, water signs, close the reading. Appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate each and every one of you taking time to check this video out. Find your center. Okay? So more about that, cleaning up yourself. Your outside world is a reflection in a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time, right? Below and above. All right. When the outside world becomes so hectic and it becomes stressville. Goes from stressful to stressville. You're living in it. Been there. That your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then it is the ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? 1 minute. 1 minute of meditation in your workday. Just a pause can have you come up, with a different thought. So value yourself and your healing, and for some of you, you got some pretty steady work, and the cards are encouraging you to pursue any passions as work too, even if it's part time or on the side. But just be active with it. Do it. If that's what you want, or if that's what you would want to do as a career, should it manifest into good money and show its stability, you got to be part of the manifestation process, with action, decisions, actions. It's great, like someone was saying earlier today, it's great to, have visuals, have a manifestation board, pray for stuff, ask for stuff, picture it, coming into your life, try to get in the feeling of how it would make you feel like it is in your life, like right now, and that's all great. But on the other side of all of this, there's action. To get guidance from your spirit team takes action. Take some footsteps. Show them that that's what you want. Just don't say it, but show them. Take the risk. Make a business card out. Take the next step. For me, I need to get busy on my website. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna do it. I will do it. All right, guys. Appreciate you letting me read your energy. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you. And I know we're getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July in this country here where I'm at. So for anyone else that celebrates an Independence Day that's based on the 4th of July, happy 4th of July. For everyone else, have a good 4th, have a good weekend with friends and family, and remember, keep yourself first. All right, have a good month.